Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Manasa, Assistant Professor from Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Hyderabad. Today I'm going to talk about the economic independence of the women. Before talking about the economic independence of the women, let us see what is the poverty rate that is existing and how women are facing, and then what we can do for making women independent in the economically. So, International Labour Organization. So that International Labour Organization says that women represent 50% of the population, and out of which 30% of them are in the labor force, and they perform almost 60% of the working hours, and they receive only 10% of the world's income, and the women are owning less than 1% of the world's property. So when you come to the work, the performance of the work, it is around 60%, but the income that they receive for their hard work is only 10%. And coming to the owning of the property, only worldwide only 10% of the people are able to own the this economical property. So, if we can see the statistics, the per capita income and the distribution of the labor force, according to the country and how it is distributed, let us see. Like for example, if we see in a country such as USA, which is developed country from the 1992 1992 to around $22,340 are gained, that is the income that is obtained due to the labor force, out of which what are the specific labor force that has been divided into agriculture, industry, as well as the services. So if you can see, the third 3% of the work is from the income that is obtained is from the agricultural field, and 25% is from the industry, and the remaining the 72% is from the other services. And if we can compare in a developing country such as India, like our country, the per capita income is only 330 US dollars, out of which the 62% is the from the agriculture. So here in our tropical country like in India, we have more income of agricultural field, and 11 is the industrial, and the remaining 27% is about the services. So if we can see the composition of the GDP and the labor force, so if we can compare that the percentage of GDP and the distribution of labor force, then for example, like country like USA, we have if we are taking the statistics in the year of 1995, the agricultural percentage of GDP is only 2%, whereas from the India we have 29%, and from the industry we have 26, and from the services 72%. But the distribution of the labor force in this is the income that we get, and what is the labor force distribution? If you can see, only 3% of labor are being contributed to the agricultural field, and 28% of the people are being working with the industries, and the remaining people are, that is 69%, are working in the other services, public, maybe public sectors. But if we can compare the country where we have the agriculture as the most prominent dominant income source, so the 64% of the labor force is dedicated to the agricultural field, but only 16% are from the industry, and remaining 20% are doing other services. So it contributes around 29% of the GDP, and industry 29%, and remaining 41 is from the public sector. So though the most of the higher percentage been distributed with the agricultural field, that the percentage of income, the nation income that we are getting is less. And how we get the economy, I means economic independence of the woman. So where the woman is involved in the economic contribution, and when they are independent of making the decision, and they can have their own economical independence, and they can be the own of the property. So women undertaking the productive work, where there is an economic participation of the women in the labor market. So when this will come, so when the woman will be in the part of the economic independence is when women is able to have the participation in the productive income. So the non-formal work, non-productive work that they do at home, it may not be considered, but the productive work that is able to give money. So the participation of women in the productive work, and in the economic participation of the labor market can give the independence in the of women in the economic field. And adult females in a given population that work for the pay and conditions, as well as the conditions that they undergo for the work are having very high. So when the woman is working for the pay and to get the money, she has so much conditions, and she is not paid as equal as the men. So there is a discrimination for her. The work is being taking place in the countries. So the production of goods, services that are accounted in the national income statistics, and female work participation, which is rating very less, that is only 26% of the women versus 52% of the women. So many people are not being into the productive work, that is the work that can gain the money. So only 26% of the women are able to participate. Women have always been at work. Only the definition of work and work plan have been realistic to include their contribution in the economy and the society. So it means that it doesn't mean that women is not working. Women always are in work, but when the women participation in the work, which is able to give the contribution to the nation's economy, that gives the this percentage, the percentage of the women which are working to gain the money, which will indirectly contribute to the nation's GDP. So the strategies for empowerment. So what are the strategies that can be done for the improvement or empowerment of the women participation in the economic field? And the workforce participation rate is proportional to the working population to the total population. The labor force that excludes the children below age of the 15 and above the 16. So the age group between 16 to 59. So that age group of the women or ladies are called the contributors for the economic growth of a country. So work is one of the gainfully employed or one working for a livelihood, which is excluding the unpaid family workers. So the work in terms of the women mean that the work which is carried out to gain the money, or which is employable money, or which is profitable or shown in terms of some gain. So that is called the work in terms of the women, which excludes the that all unpaid work that is being carried out in the family during the growth of the children and to take care of the family. So that is not counted. So what are the needs of a woman? So what we have to see, and in what way we can support them to have the productive income from the women. So first of all, we should see economic necessity of women, and what is her economic independence, and which way and what she is qualified to work. So which work is suitable for her, and a sense of achievement, as well as a pastime, and what is her service to the society, and what is her status of symbol in the society, and what are the power as the prestige and the prestige that she has. So all these we have to see. These are required for a woman, so as to get promoted or to give highly qualified productive work. So, what is the actual existence or how the status of women in the society? The Indian women by large undertake our productive work only under the economic compulsion. So, unless and until they have requirement to gain economical support or independence, economical independence in the family, or there is a urgent need for gaining money, then only woman is able to go to outside for working to get the productive money. Unless and otherwise, she won't be able to go out, and she's stuck in the unpaid or the non-productive work itself. So unless and until she has such an emergency or requirement, then women starts gaining the productive work. So this is the reason for high female participation rates for economically under privileged communities. So, why only in such communities the female participation more is because under such communities are at that area of society where economical independence of the women is required, and only that women are able to go for the productive work. The upper class of women usually were limited to their homes, because they have money, they have sufficient, there is no need for gaining the money, so they are not worried, or they are limited to their homes but not much interested in the productive work, going out and taking the strain. So if we can see the statistics of rural versus urban areas, that is a work participation. So the work participation rate is high among rural women. So that is 27% of the women are able to work, rather than the urban women. Only 10% of the women are working in the urban areas. And female workers is 90 is to 10 in favor of the rural areas. Like if you can see, male 80 is to 20. So the more number of non-working women we can see here, and if we can see main versus marginal work. So if we can able to concentrate on what the woman is working on, so we know that the main purpose of the woman's work is mainly unproductive work or non-productive work, which is not commercially payable, but the work that she carries is very high. So women go in for temporary and standby jobs because of hesitancy to employ women in a regular job and providing them with a good working conditions. The main workers are those who work for the major part of the year. So many employers which who are taking when the woman is getting employed, or who is taking that they are not willing to take the woman, thinking that because the woman is she may not continue for the overseer, and she may have some the family related issues or the child care and all. So first of all, the employer who is taking her may not be able to consider the woman, and that is the one main reason. But though they work very hard and produce the productive fruitful work, but the situation to take is not at all acceptable, first of all. And the female main workers constitute 14.6% of the populations. than when compared to the males, so that is 50.4. So that means the number of women who are working is very less when compared to the men, and female marginal works constitute only 6.26 of the population than the 0.98%. So marginal works is the women carrying many works. So that is the marginal work that is being carried out is high for the female when compared to the males. The female marginal workers constitute 6.25 of the populations than the men. So men is only 0.98%. So women can do the main work as well as the marginal work. And if we can see in terms of organized and unorganized sector, most of the women are also found to be employed in agricultural activities and in the unorganized sectors, that is the organized sectors like banks, offices, educational institutes show less low level of female participation. So most of the women are either limited to the labor work or agricultural field, or they may be at small levels of jobs. But if you can see the high positions like banks, offices, and educational institutes, the number of female who are there in that institutions are very less. The employment of women is high in organized sectors such as unorganized sectors, such as part-time helpers in households, and they can be the construction areas and tanniers like setting, parting, and driving, like the household work which they do. Match and beauty industries. So the many of the women will be preferring the working conditions which can be done from the home or small scale work or half some hours they can go out and do. So we know that many women who are, if they are earning money means most of the women, uneducated women, will be taking care of household work. So that is for uh, just 2 or 3 hours, or they can do some small helping kind of work for half a day or so, or they do the small level industry works like that. But most of the women who are who are not preparing to go for the full time jobs and at high positions. So that is the rate of women who are getting participated. And if we can see in terms of informal sector, which is an important source for the working of the women, so why the people will go for this informal sectors? Because the difficulties in making generalization in the Indian society, so diversity in the regions as well as the religions, social and economic setup, as well as hierarchy of society can be traced are the community group. And the another important one is patriarchal double standards. So they have that men only should go for the work and female is not allowed to go outside for the work, and there is a discrimination on this and harassment if people have gone. So based on that fear also, the people the family members may not allow the girl childs or the women to get worked outside. So they mainly prefer for the part-time or the jobs which can be done at home. And the women's unemployment rate is similar to the men, that is 2% in the rural areas and 5% in the urban areas. So and also the factor of age. So female workers are relatively young when compared to men. As the age increases, the ratio of female to male workers could be less because many of the women are not willing to go outside of the work after a certain age. And in terms of agricultural field, in India, country like in India, the Indian work in the agriculture is high. So majority of the women will be in the field of agriculture. So 55% of the people are there in the agricultural industry when compared to only 30% of men are taking care of agriculture and animal laborers and not the cultivators. So, percentage of distribution of main workers, right? And we can see male to female. So, most of the female are in agricultural field. And the next part is taken by the cultivators and few of them will be carried by the hospital industry and other percentage of women are into the services, means public sectors and the non-housing industries, business person and other categories. But when you see about the males, the agriculture, the main part of the work is being carried out by the cultivator and then the um, other categories of work. So if you can see any of the work, so it can be these other services, non food industry, or agriculture. The work, productive kind of the work is mainly for the men and the household part that they are taking are regular. So occupation as a government, teaching, religious activities and entertainment. So social works involves only 8% of the female workers. So the percentage distribution of male workers by category, you can see the negative impact of the women's employment opportunities, especially in the rural areas, is harvesting and in the wheat grinding and the small scale industries, as well as match industry and the weaving. So most of the um, these fields will not take the women. So they have negative impact on women employment opportunities in this field. So even so, what is the employment and economic independence? So even if a woman is employed, she may not have the control over the money that she earns. But women are expected to devote all the time that they have and all the energy as well as earn into the family only. And many Indian women seek their husband permissions when they wish to purchase something for themselves also. So this is what though they earn, they don't have the economic independence. So what is the percentage of education as well as work? So only 40% of the women, when compared to the remaining 60% of the men are literate. So the number of women that are getting educated is only 40%, and majority is having the primary education or less. A higher level of education for women do not directly translate into the occupations of women workers because many of the women who are educated are very less than women who are going for the higher studies will be very less. The distinct work experience in different areas in the country are larger rural population have the larger female employment rates. Exceptions like Punjab and Haryana because they have richer cultural practices. So, in rural areas in general, all including men and women will go for the work, but they may carry out most of the agriculture and the labor work. Thank you.
Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.